how to things that you are noticing when you're building in public, things that I'm noticing when I'm building in public, and some updates on some laws that are changing that have to do with AI, things you need to be aware of as you continue to grow your business in this age of AI. So, with that, we are going to buckle down and get right to it, and we're going to get started right now.
All right, folks. It's Technology Tuesday. We are here every week, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you practical knowledge, practical applications, so you can have practical solutions for your business. As Greg said, we're going to have a conversation today around some concepts I think a lot of us are dealing with, or I know those who are business owners, small base business, or just business creators, you're dealing with a lot. So I'm curious to hear Greg's insight, and then I'll drop a little pieces of knowledge or wisdom along the way as well.
Well, yeah, man, I appreciate that. And just so we're clear, um, you know, times have changed, business has shifted, and like most entrepreneurs, I am in a shifting period. And so, what I figured I'd do this time, because I've had to change many times. There's always platform shifts, technology shift that change the aspect of your business. And I've been through it several times with major changes in technology. And this time I'm sharing with what I'm doing publicly so you guys can see it. And so I'm going to share with you some things I've done with content marketing and what it looks like when you're kind of first starting out, and what it could mean for you and your business. So I know a lot of times we are seeing influencers with millions of views and hundreds of thousands of likes and all this stuff like that, but no one ever starts there. They always start with one or two likes, right? Three or four views, right? It's like that's where it starts, but most people don't ever see that. And so part of me building in public, Jerry, is sharing with you what it looks like as you build up your business, um, from scratch, or not technically scratch, but you know what I'm saying, from the beginning, if you're changing, and you're starting something new. So I'm going to share with you what mine is looking like right now as I'm just kind of starting to move the needle, if you will. And with that, some changes are coming. I want to share with this right now. And I think this is important because I think that other AI models, I'm sorry, other AI companies will follow this same strategy. And what I'm going to share with you guys right now is something that's going on with Anthropic. So basically, Anthropic says it will watermark text generated by AI models. Okay. And so this has to do with the EU's AI Act Transparency Code, which is the European Union, which they kind of have been leading the way when it comes to the laws that a lot of the US laws kind of adopt and follow afterwards. So if you click on this link here to bring you over, and it will talk about guidelines on transparency, obligation providers, and deploys of certain AI systems. So long story short, what Anthropic is saying is they're going to now do a hidden watermark in the content. So if you use Claude on any of its models, I believe starting, well, it's already started. It said it took effect on August 2nd. So it's already in a place that there will be a hidden watermark. So um, companies and educators and things will be able to determine if the content was created by AI. So this is one of the things that is changing in the face of AI. And I'm pretty sure that other AI companies will start to follow suit because everybody wants to be in alignment with the law so that they don't get fined, etc. So I think this is going to be something that educators and schools is probably something that they'll be able to now determine whether you actually written your paper or not. But I think this is just the start of a much bigger um, thing when it comes to the laws and how the laws are going to start to govern what we can use and how used AI generated content, images, video, etc., can be used within your business, within your life, and all that. So again, the AI is changing all the time and it's growing up right in front of us. Things change from week to week. And I believe it's just important that you be up to date on the laws on what's changing so and can be aware of what's going on. So, Jerry, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that because I know you got some children in school and college, and I'm going to have a child in college shortly. And so I think this is an interesting topic on how AI is changing that we need to be aware of.
Yeah, it's interesting. And it sounds, or I should say it sounds, but I probably heard about this coming, like where places where we're checking for verifying the originality. Uh, so like, I get it from to a certain degree. When you're in school and you're writing a paper or something like that to make sure the students actually still do, a lot of the work. The challenge though is, uh, how far do we want to go with this? Because if I'm giving AI part of my thoughts to help me craft something, right? So if you think about it, it all depends on how you're using it. Are you saying, oh, everything that you created is 100% generated by the AI, or did how much of it did I prompt and give it my thoughts and my insights and just have it like, hey, brush this up for me, or like, here's what I wanted to sound like, here's what I wanted to say, and here's the topic, and here are my points, and you're giving it a lot of the foundational pieces, right? It'd be no to me, it's like, how is that different than a person who would be uh, speaking or dictating to someone who's typing up something for them. Like they're like, somebody is, you're saying, here's what I'm looking for, and then they take what you have, and they're an assistant, and they clean it up, or they were a ghostwriter. Like, do we go around in every book that's been ghostwritten? Is there a tag on the book cover that says this book is ghostwritten?
Yeah, I
That's the
see what
part
you're
that's
saying. Yeah, yeah,
confusing for me. Is like, yo, we have a lot of books out there that the person who's on the cover of the book, the person whose pictures on the book, didn't actually write the book themselves. They had a ghostwriter, but we don't like flag stuff where a ghostwriter was used. So it's just kind of odd. I know, because AI, a lot of people, some people are using it, and folks feel like, oh, they might be getting duped or whatever. Like, but I can tell. Like, I saw a video the other day. I'm looking at the video. It took me a couple of seconds. Like, oh, this is an AI video. Like, the person doesn't even look real. I mean, they look real to a certain extent, but it looked like artificially real. It's like, oh, you're too perfect. So I just think when it comes to writing stuff, or like producing stuff and text, um, I don't know how far we want to take this. But it's like, because if I am giving the artificial intelligence platform, whether it's Chat, OpenAI, Anthropic, whatever, Gemini, which is Google, or Copilot, which is Microsoft, if I'm giving it a lot of the information, like, so if it's like maybe a 70-30 partnership, or a 60-40 partnership, you know, I don't know. I know that there are a lot of books that are, we both know there are a lot of books that are written where a person didn't actually write the book themselves,
yeah. That is true.
and nobody is putting a star or sticker that says, "Hey, this book was written by somebody transcribing it and editing it for me, or somebody interviewed me."
Yeah. I think it's interesting that they're going down this route, and I'm just pretty sure that others will go. And I'm pretty sure that's again something that has to be worked out, ironed out on how it's regulated, right? Let this it will get figured out. But since it is being added, I just think it's important that people are aware that
Oh
these
yeah,
hidden watermarks. It's not like a photo. If you go to like a stock photo site and it has their
right.
watermark right on the front where everybody can see it. That's not the case. This is a hidden watermark within the text, so that computers or other AI can know, or some sort of system is going to be able to detect whether the content is AI produced or not. And what they're talking about in the article, because I read a little bit further, they're discussing how much of it will be watermarked. Like just like you were saying, like if you're giving it stuff to format. Exactly. So there's going to be some challenges. Again, it's the laws, and they're going to adjust and change as we continue to use the technology that we have available to us. And so I just think it's important as entrepreneurs that we know. So at the moment, Anthropic, which is Claude, is doing this, and the others at the moment have not disclosed whether they're doing it or not. But I'm pretty sure as time goes on, they will also add watermarks to their content as well. So I think it's just
Yeah, I
important
mean, to
we are
jump in,
aware.
I just just from an awareness perspective, I would say there are from my understanding, like I've seen or I've heard before this announcement was made that people have been using systems to detect whether it was written with AI. So there's already been over the last year and a half, there's already been some type of markings put into the text that people weren't aware of. The average person wasn't aware of so somebody could actually read it because they have systems that schools were using to detect whether it was made with AI or not. So the fact that they've already had systems out there detecting it means there's already been some type of coding on the back end
Yeah.
that you don't see with the naked eye, that you have to use systems to pick up to show that this was generated with one of the platforms.
Yes. I think this is a fascinating topic, and that it will continue to evolve as we move forward. And so it's
Well,
going
I
to be
mean, this is an
interesting to see.
example. This is basically an example of what you were talking about of building in public.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have technology, social media is one of them, right? Artificial intelligence is another, where it's actually building in real time. So the regulations and the usage and acceptance or terms of usage are evolving as the technology is developing. And what I've noticed is technology is moving faster than human capability. So our ability to regulate the technology is at a slower pace than the actual technology itself. Our capability to understand all of the consequences and long-term impacts of the technology is moving at a slower pace than the technology itself. So this is an example when you talk about the concept of like actually stuff being created and living through it in real time. This is a prime example, like where it's there's this is all happening right in front of our faces in public, and we're seeing how it's all changing every single day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that is the perfect segue into the next segment, man. So um, I've started a content marketing system, and I'm sharing that with our members in our group. So if you're interested in checking that out, just head over to the group, and you can actually see more than what we're going to share today. Um, but we used a platform that I created called SoloHQ to develop this content marketing uh, agenda plan. And basically, what it does is it gives me a plan to create content. And what I wanted to do, Jerry, my goal was to be able to produce content at a high, not a higher level, but and not mass produce, but I wanted to produce a lot of content in a short period amount of time with not the least amount of effort, but not take up my time. So what I'm trying to say is, like, my business is creating systems, right? And I create systems for myself, and I create systems for other people. My business is not a content creator, right? So it's important that you know where and how you make your money. So for me, understanding that content does play a role, and I wanted it to play a bigger role, so I needed to create a plan. So I created a plan, and I created a system to allow me to create massive amount of content in short amount of time. So I'm going to share with you, and I first rolled it out. And over the last 4 days, I produced 37 pieces of, well, I didn't produce 37 pieces of content. I produced, I posted 37 pieces of content over several platforms. And so I'm going to show you three of those platforms and the results. And this is the part, Jerry, that again, most people don't see the very beginning when something is starting. But today we're going to share with you. So the first one I'm going to share with you is some of these that I posted on. I'm going to share TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And this is the short form video that we created part of this plan. And we will go to the desktop right now. Boom. All right. So uh, this is TikTok, and basically there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 videos that were shared over the last 4 days. And so right now, these videos on TikTok are averaging about 100 views so far as they're just getting started. Let's see if we can zoom in for those guys who can make sure we can see just a little bit. All right, that's probably a little bit better. So um, these two down here were promotional. Actually, these three were promotional for when we were promoting the foundation, the AI foundations class, but that they weren't part of the new plan. So these last nine are started a new plan. So on TikTok, we're averaging about so far over the last 4 days, 100 views, per one on TikTok. There's not much discrepancy between the videos. They're roughly right now around 100 views. This one is more of a um, not necessarily, this is more sharing a personal story, and so this one has a little bit more than the rest at almost 150, where the others are either just over or just under 100. So this one is standing out just a little bit, but it is a different type, right? So we have content where we're talking about business stuff, and then we have connection content where we're talking about yourself, your family, your beliefs in a way, your stories in a way that helps you connect with people. So this one on this particular platform is showing just a little bit more. Again, when people are first starting, when you're first starting, you're not getting okay. Sometimes when people are first starting, they don't start out with thousands and thousands of views. Sometimes for some entrepreneurs, it's much smaller. I got to be careful what I say because there's always the outlier. There's always the one that's different. There's always the ones that doesn't fit the norm. But for the majority of people, majority of entrepreneurs, majority of business owners, this is what it looks like when you start. All right, so we're going to show Instagram next. And so this is Instagram, and then here there's these 9 videos again, and these have a little bit different story here, right? So these are uh, probably just under 200 for the most of them, but then this one right here happened to jump to almost over 550. Well, let me zoom in so you guys can see. And so this one on this platform is showing just a tad bit of a different story. Sorry, so it's this video here that is doing more than the rest. So when you have this, Jerry, when you post consistently, you can find ones that jump on certain platforms. And what this allows you to do, it allows you to look at that, study it, and figure out what was it that about that particular video that got more than the rest, and can I do something similar so when I post another video, it builds more um, in my next set, and you build like that. That's the thing that a lot of people don't tell you. The other thing, if you're only posting once or twice a week, you don't really have the metrics to measure. You have to do it at a level where you can get the numbers. I don't know why my camera is jumping on me, but we will figure it out. Cool. So, Jerry, before I share the YouTube results, I wanted you to speak on your thoughts on what it's like for someone who's just starting out and they're not seeing thousands of likes, thousands of views, not hundreds of comments coming in when they're starting out. And what do you believe that the average person and average entrepreneur goes through mentally when they're just starting out and seeing their own numbers versus what they may think or what they may believe compared to others?
Got it. I mean, the first thing pops to my mind is doubt. So a lot of people battle the imposter syndrome. You know, the if you're not seeing the results immediately, you question, am I doing the right thing? Because we think that if I do this, this should equal this. And sometimes it takes patience. In many cases, it takes patience. Things may not just happen right away. I know in today's world, because of technology, clicks, likes, we like instant gratification. We like things that go viral immediately. But there are things that are going viral now that happened to be recorded 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and somebody caught it at the right time. They like, oh, people missed it, and then somebody caught it and was like, oh, and it pops because timing is really critical. Like everything has its own life cycle. So the key is for yourself is consistency. Like so the compound effect is a concept that sometimes is overlooked, and the compound effect takes discipline. So are you going to be consistent enough to do the thing without the results showing up in order for the results to show up? So if you go to the gym one day, you're not going to see immediate changes in your body. But if you go to the gym every day for months, for years, then you're going to see the effects over time. So for a lot of folks, it's understanding that I have to be disciplined and disciplined with my consistency in order for the results to show. Because it may not happen immediately. It may like there are so many examples of people who are successful now, but it wasn't their first day. It wasn't their first exposure. It wasn't their first endeavor. It wasn't their first project. They went through some tests and trials, things that didn't work. They were finding out what worked, and they were working on their formula. And the only way Les Brown used to say, the only way to get good at something is you got to be bad first. So the key for a lot of folks is like, yeah, you might be putting stuff out there, but are you improving every day? Are you getting better at it every day? Are you making a difference every day? So it's just a matter of how do you measure the results, and what results are you looking for? The results all the time aren't necessarily going to be necessarily the views, because you can put out a lot of different videos, but then you only need one to actually pop for you to start getting the traction that you're looking for.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, man, for sharing. And I completely agree. I completely agree. I'm gonna share one more. Let me zoom in first before I open up the camera so you guys can see. And then we'll, all right, here we go. Boom. All right, so this is YouTube, and YouTube favors shorts. So you see here that these last three have almost several hundred views, over 500 each. Um, and then this one doesn't even have 100. And so, but I can tell you this: once you do it consistently, you'll see that the numbers will have consistently gone up, right? 40, 50, 200, almost 300. This one dropped down, but then now 800, 600, 800, right? And then this one only 12. And again, the different platforms respond differently to the different kinds of videos. How would you know that if you don't put the videos out there? And I'll tell you something else. Like um my process, Jerry, was like, these are not actually how I want the videos to look. But just like you said, starting and learning this process was like, I was able to do this, and my goal for this particular run was to have it done in a certain amount of time, right? So I wanted to be able to produce a certain number of content within a certain number of time. And so one of the things I'm doing is I'm using 1 day a week to produce all the content for a full week, right? And so I had my goal was to just do it in a certain amount of time. The other thing was I didn't touch the editing of the videos. It was all edited via an AI editor, right? So the AI edited it all. It took my raw video and edited it. And so without me having to touch an editor to produce, 9 shorts and distribute across 3 different platforms and then also LinkedIn every day, right? With just the amount of time I put in, I'm really satisfied about the amount of output I got. And now that I got that and I can look at the numbers, I can now increase the um, visuals of what I want it to look like. I can focus the time now next time instead of focusing on just getting it out there. I can say, all right, now I can work on the prompts to get the AI editor to edit it in a way which would be a little bit more appealing. So part of to what you're saying is sometimes when you're just starting out, it may not be exactly as you want when you're first starting out. But what was your goal? For me, my goal was to produce X number of pieces of content within a certain time. And now that I've done that and I have a schedule to do that, I can be like, okay, now I want to improve uh, what the quality of this is. And then I can also look at the ones and the numbers we already did and study the ones that have did better than the rest and try to duplicate that. And you keep doing that, and that's how you build your numbers, you build your following, you build your likes, is you keep improving. And so again, I just want to share building in public when things aren't like so astronomical when people are first starting. They're overwhelmed by the numbers. And so I hope this was valuable to someone. I hope they could see that, yeah, when you're starting out with something new or something different, it may not be millions of views out of the gate. But it's a process to build. And for those who don't just have uh, a massive social media following, um, you have to build it and it takes a little bit of time. Also, let me emphasize this too. You do not have to have a massive following to make money with your business. Okay. So I've been around a long time. And if there's one thing I can say is like, you take everything with a grain of salt. And so what I've done is been able to share with you what I've done recently with kind of shifting gears and sharing some things in public. And hopefully that will inspire some of you to take action. And if you want to follow along and get the more specifics and get our system, go ahead and join the group. You can find it at technologytuesday.com. And we will be more than happy to share with you the system and tools that we are using to build ours. Jerry, last words, sir.
I mean, I think it's all good what you're saying. I think the key is, as you said, the word is consistency and discipline and growth. So the whole process is you need to get started in order to be able to grow into the person that you need to be to get the results that you're looking for. So if you don't do anything, because some people are getting ready to get ready, and uh, if you're growing in public, as your Greg is talking about, then the key for you is to be comfortable with the uncomfort of not seeing the results immediately. And can you live with that? And look for what are the bright spots, look for the lights, look for the smaller victories.
Mm, yes. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, sir, man. And those are some words of wisdom right there. Sometimes it doesn't take a lot to get a lot. One of my favorite quotes is uh, "Big doors swing on little hinges," or "Little hinges swing big doors" is the actual quote by W.C. Clement,
Yep.
I believe, and I hope I got that right.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of my favorite ones, and that's something I always look for is those little hinges that can swing your business in the direction you want to go. With that, tune in every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm Greg Russell here with Jerry Franklin Poe, and we will see you next week for another exciting episode of Technology Tuesday. Take care.